This is really nerve-wracking, which makes it just like the first day of class. You don't know me, I don't know you, and yet somehow we have to go on a journey together. Now, luckily for you, our journey is quite short. It's only 10 or 15 minutes. But for a class, it's a journey that takes months. Students come into that first class looking for a roadmap. They want to know about the material. They want to know about your assignments. They want to know, are they good enough to be there? It's a bundle of nerves. And so at that point, I say something unexpected. I tell the students, I'm not interested in what you can remember. I'm interested in what you care about. And the class begins. There was a moment 25 years ago or so where I thought I had it all figured out. I had just graduated. I'd got my first proper job at a lovely liberal arts college in the United States. I was teaching students in a 4-year degree. I knew what I was doing. The students knew what they were doing. I was turning history students into historians. And then the opportunity for adventure came along, as it sometimes does, and I took it. And for the next 20-odd years, I've been traveling around the world, teaching in different locations. And suddenly, my classroom became much less predictable. The students who came into my classroom normally didn't come in to be historians. They were there because it was a requirement. Many had never taken a history class at all. Some had and wished they hadn't. What they were all doing was searching for meaning, a way in which this new class, which they didn't really need or want, could be impactful for them. And that was the moment it became obvious my teaching had to change. I just wasn't sure how to do it. If I'm being honest with you, to start off, it was more a case of how could I prove them wrong? How dare they not share my passion for the past? And then that gradually started to evolve. Now, in my head, history is easy. History is about building bridges to the past so other people can cross them. How could I get my students to cross those bridges to the past? To meet new people, explore new places, wrestle with ideas that didn't seem familiar. It took perhaps longer than it should have done to hit upon the correct tactic. I was one day writing my teaching philosophy, something I had to do every year. It wasn't my most fun moment. And I hit upon a new opening line that somehow seemed to capture this problem I was wrestling with. I wrote, I want students to care, if just a little, if just for a moment. That's my teaching philosophy. Armed with this insight that there might be a way to get students to care to cross that bridge to the past, I set about experimenting. Some of the experiments were big, some experiments were small, some succeeded, many failed. The one that worked most reliably, and the direction I chose to go in, was historical role play. What if the bridge didn't just have to be a metaphor? What if we could turn the classroom into the past somehow and invite the students to participate? So I decided to design role plays. I would choose moments of high drama from the past where small decisions had huge impacts and invite students to play different roles within that, ultimately wrestling with the question, what would I do? And I think that's the best question about the past you can ever ask. So, how do you design a role play? Well, at this moment, I thought I could be really boring, or if you'll indulge me, and I'll check we have time, and I think we do, we could play for a moment. So this is the last role play I did in class, so it's the one that's fresh in my memory. It's about a moment in time that you probably haven't thought about today or yesterday or any time recently. So, take a breath. You're no longer you. You're about to try and become somebody else. I would like you to imagine it's 8:45 in the morning and you are still in your pajamas, sitting on the side of the bed. It's the 16th of October, 1962. And by the way, you're the President of the United States. It's a Tuesday. You think it's going to be a regular Tuesday. But suddenly a new meeting is called just 3 hours later, and the world completely changes. A photograph is put on your desk. This photograph clearly depicts Soviet intermediate ballistic missiles, probably with nuclear tips, 90 miles off the coast of Florida in Cuba. It's the height of the Cold War. Tensions between the superpowers have never been greater. You live in a world dominated by one reality. Compromise is not an option. This is an existential battle for survival, and you have to win. So now, what do you do? Are you going to seek ways to remove those missiles from Cuba and potentially spark World War III? Or are you going to go and tell Americans that they now have to live in fear? That within 4 minutes, missiles could be raining down on their heads? What do you do? That's the opening piece for my Cuban Missile Crisis roleplay. At this moment, one of the students becomes the president. Others are appointed to supporting roles in a body called TEDxKI, which is quickly put together. And for the rest of that class, they become that person, learning what roles they have, what positions they represent. It's a slow, relaxed class as students begin to work out the edges of their scenario. They're in control, responding to the photographs, discussing the options. They haven't become fully immersed yet. Days 2 and 3, the tension increases. Suddenly they don't have time to discuss. Suddenly they have to respond. This is the moment they begin to lose control of the crisis. A plane is shot down, a submarine appears where it shouldn't. They are desperately looking for ways to de-escalate, but can't find any. What do they do next? The final day of the scenario comes along, and there are no more chances to debate. There are no more ways of delaying. The decision moment has arrived. And this is my favorite moment of the scenario. Imagine you've been selected as the president. You're now sitting in the middle of the room behind your desk. You've had all the advice you can get. You now need to make a decision. Are you going to press the big red button or not? By that moment, the student is normally trembling. Nobody else in the room knows entirely what's going to happen, but they understand the consequences of pressing it versus not pressing it. In 4 classes, we've gone from something they knew nothing about to something where they are engaged and they become passionate about it. If you're interested, I can share that almost nobody presses the button. It's quite a reassuring feeling that our students do not want to blow the world up, but it's their option. Let's go to the last day of class. I always judge a semester as a success if at the end of the semester, students are talking about characters they've played or decisions they've made they wish they'd gone in a different direction. And it's not about the material. It's about, for a moment, they've perhaps been convinced to be historians for a semester. And that's a victory. There's always that slight moment as they leave the room for the last time. They've learned to care about something with you. Perhaps, hopefully, maybe, it's easier to care about something else next time. Let's go right back to the very beginning. It's your first class. Your first big meeting, your first whatever. And you're standing here. You sense that inertia in the room, and you want to build momentum. What's the unexpected element that you could introduce that changes the way that meeting, those students think about the challenge in front of them? How can you add velocity? For me, it's caring. What will it be for you? Thank you very much.